प्रहलाद महाराज। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय श्री भगवान की जय, शुद्ध प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, शुभ संदारती की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
Hare Krishna, everyone. On behalf of ISKCON Sydney Temple, we welcome everyone for joining us today. As we are doing the series of prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam, today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 23, the Brahmana's wives blessed. So first of all, we will do Mangalacharan. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगना रघुनाथं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादा सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखामृतं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपिका गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So today we are doing reading from chapter 10, Canto 10, chapter 23, the Brahmana's wife's blessed. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam देवकी सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भक्तिनैष्टुकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. So Hare Krishna. Actually, this chapter gives us the detailed account of inspiring pastime wherein Lord Krishna tested Brahmana's wife and Brahmana separately. So in this state, the Brahmanas actually they were successfully passed. Brahmanas they were failed, and the Brahmana's wife they were pass in that test. So Krishna wanted to show them his mercy by the way of his giving his darshan, and he was just going to give his blessing to his beloved devotees. So furthermore, Lord Krishna gives very important message in this chapter. So let us purify ourselves by pondering over this pastime. So one day, once in Vrindavan, Krishna Balram and they were in the forest with their cowherd boys. And in the first verse, cowherd boys they said to Krishna, they said that Shri Gopa Uchu Rama Rama Mahabaho Krishna Dusta Nivarana Esha Vebadate Shunnas Tachantim Kartumarata. So they say, in translation it is said, the cowherd boy said, O Rama, Rama, mighty armed one, O Krishna, chastiser of the wicked, we are being harassed by hunger and you should do something about it. So actually, one day they were Krishna, Balram, and the cowherd boys. They were going all together in a forest, and then cowherd boys said that Krishna, that you are the subduer of all bad things. You can solve the problem of everyone. And they said that now we are feeling hungry, so can you provide some food? Or they requested food for Lord Krishna. So we can see that this shows that there is a Sakhya bhav between Krishna and cowherd boys, and they are asking food from Krishna. They don't think that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and they treat Krishna as their best friend. So we can see that there is intimate relationship between Krishna and his friends. Lovingly, they were enjoying with the supreme personality of Godhead. So after hearing this, Krishna informed cowherd boys, okay, you go to nearby sacrificial area wherein the Brahmanas they are performing the yagna. And the name of the yagna was Angirasa sacrifice. And the Brahmanas they were doing this yagna so that they can get promotion to heaven. So cowherd boys they went and then they offered their obeisances to the Brahmanas and said that they were sent by Lord Krishna and Balrama for some food. But it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that the Brahmanas they were so much engrossed in the petty things, or they were entangled into their rituals. So they were failed to say yes or no. They didn't say yes and they didn't say no to the cowherd voice, and they just ignored them. So Bhagavatam tells us that though presuming themselves they were very advanced in Vedic learning and very advanced in Vedic injunctions, but they were actually experienced. They don't have any experience with Krishna. Like they were inexperienced fools, as it is mentioned in the purport. So because they were inattentive when the cowherd boys they came, they were inattentive to them. So we can see that Brahmanas they have done a big mistake. And in this material world, like we quite often make these type of mistakes. Like for example, when we are doing chanting our rounds or when we do chanting Krishna's name. So if we are not attentive, then we are actually neglecting Krishna, or we are being indifferent to him. So for the Lord, because the Lord and his names they are non-different. As it is a beautiful verse, they say, Nam Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukto Abhinatva Nam Namino. So it is said that there is no difference between Krishna and Krishna's name. Nam Chintamani Krishna. Krishna's name is like a touchstone. Like it's like a desire tree. Like whatever you want, you can ask from Krishna and Krishna will provide you. Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukto. And Krishna's name is full and Shuddh. It's pure. Nitya Mukto, it's liberated and it can liberate each and everyone. And in the last line, it is said that Abhinatva Nam Namino. There is no difference between Krishna's name and Krishna in person. So, like when Krishna appears before us every time in the form of holy name or in the form of Bhagavad Gita or in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, we should be very careful that we are not inattentive. So, but Prabhupada he says that Lord actually he does not want our expertise in Vedic injunctions. Like he doesn't want us to like to we become scholar in Vedic learning, and he said that Krishna he doesn't cares about the various rituals in devotion service. So what he only wants our unalloyed bhakti. And also it is mentioned in scriptures that when we like there is no competition when we are reading Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Like we don't have to do mastering. Like okay, I have read Bhagavad Gita 100 times, or I have read Bhagavatam 200 times. It's not like that, because it is a process of purification. So how it is a process of purification to become a pure devotee of the Lord. So reading should not be make one person proud. Like instead of change one's behavior. Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj, one of his lectures, he was saying once, like, we should always remember the importance of 4S in our life. So first S is sadhana, like we should do our chanting nicely, we should do our rounds nicely. And then second is seva, like service. Whenever we get a chance, we should do service in the temple, we should do service at home, we should make nice prasadam, offer to Krishna, and also we should have a good relationship with the devotees. And then next is swadhyay. Swadhyay means like we should read our scriptures every day, like Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Like sometimes we think, okay, we will do just one verse or half a verse. Still, it's very important for us. Like whether we do little bit of reading, like now these days, like Purushottam month is going on, and this is everyone is saying that okay, we should read chapter 15. So which is very good to recite chapter 15 in Purushottam month. So if we don't have time to read the whole chapter, we can divide into every day we can recite only one verse or half a verse, because it is beneficial for us. And then next is sadachar. Next is sadachar. Sadachar means like we are doing our sadhana nicely, we are reading our scriptures every day, But if our behavior is not changing, then everything is zero. So Brahmanas, they were very expert in Vedas, very expert in rituals, but their behavior was not changed. They saw Lord as an ordinary human being. So they failed to recognize that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. Because of their false identification with the mortal body, they did not show him proper respect. So this example is actually applicable for all of us. Like, sometimes we forget the purpose of Krishna consciousness. Like, we perform several services like reading of scriptures, chanting Krishna's name, but sometimes maybe we are not able to recognize Krishna if he comes before us. So after all this happened, then the cowherd boys, they just came back to Krishna. They returned back, and then they reported to him that what had happened. And and at that point it is mentioned that Krishna, he was laughing at that point. So now the question comes, why Krishna was laughing at that time? So it is said that Lord laughed and pacified the boys, that he was thinking that the Brahmanas, they are performing the yagna, the sacrifice, but for which all the ingredients for sacrifice, such as the place, time, paraphernalia, mantras, and the rituals, and priest, fires, it is mentioned that everything, the demigods, offering, everything was coming from him only. So and also the results of that sacrifice. So Krishna is the everything was coming from him. So as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita as well, that aham sarvasya prabhu matah sarvam pravartate. So everything material and everything spiritual, it is coming from Krishna. And also we know that Krishna is called Yagneshwara. Yagneshwara means, Ishvara means actually controller, and Yagneshwara means he is the controller of all the yagnas. And also we have seen in the prayers of Sukhdev Goswami, he mentioned that Krishna is Yagnapati. So we just read last week. So Yagnapati, Pati means protector. So Krishna is the protector of all the yagnas. So also it is said in Bhagavad Gita that Bhoktaram Yagna Tapsa Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhida Sarvabhutanam Jnatva Mam Shanti Mrichati. So in Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned that Krishna is Bhoktaram. Bhoktaram means he is the beneficiary of all the human activities. So like every one of us should offer everything to Krishna. And he is Sarvlok Maheshwaram, and he is the proprietor of everything. Proprietor means like he is the proprietor for all the planets. He is the above all the demigods. No one is greater than him, and he is the enjoyer of all the yagnas as well. So unfortunately, what happened? The Lord was present before the Brahmanas, but Brahmanas, they could not recognize Lord. So after that, Krishna, he sends the cowherd boys to the Brahmanas' wives. And then in the next verse, he says that Mam Gyapat Patinibhya Sansankarshnam Agatam Dasyanti Kamamanam Va Snigdha Mayushita Dhiya. So Lord Krishna says in this verse that tell the wives of Brahmanas that I have come here with Lord Sankarshna. They will certainly give you all the food you want, for they are the most affectionate towards me, and indeed with their intelligence reside in me alone. So in this verse, Krishna says to cowherd boys that go and tell the wives of Brahmana ki like Krishna is here and he wants some food. And we can see that Krishna, he was very confident in this verse that okay, you go and just tell them that I am here and they will provide the food. So Krishna knows everything what is in our hearts. Like as it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya Chaham Hriday Sanvinisto. Krishna, he stays in our heart in the form of Paramatma. And very confidently he said, okay, go and ask them the food and they will they will give food to us. So after hearing this, cowherd boys, they went to Brahmana's wife and then they paid obeisances. They said that, okay, Krishna has sent us here for some food. And Brahmana's wife, they were excited on hearing. Like as soon as they heard, oh, Krishna is here, it is said in Bhagavatam that Brahmana's wife, they were jumping around and they said, okay, Brahmana's wife, they took all the vessels of food, full of taste, full of aromas, and they just rushed to see their beloved Krishna. So Bhagavatam says that having heard that Krishna's transcendental pastimes or qualities for a long time, enchanted by the description of his beauty, they were so eager to see him just as the rivers flow towards sea. So they are comparing actually like the Brahmana's wife, they were just running like as a river flows towards sea. Like if there are any obstacles are coming, if river is flowing and any obstacles are coming on the way, so it just goes, like it doesn't stop there. So but they are saying in the Bhagavatam that their husbands, their son, and their brother, sister, they all were trying to stop them from going but could not succeed. So they just ran towards Krishna. So again, there is a lesson for all of us. Like, when we do devotion service, sometimes we get obstacles like in with the family members or maybe relatives or sometimes our neighbors or friends. They always say, "Oh, why you're going to temple? Why you have to chant all the time?" Or like why you have to stop eating onion and garlic. So these are the small things, there is a problem with all this. So we can see that in this pastime, Brahmana's wife did not care about anything actually, and they left everything for Krishna as they were fully surrendered towards him. So similarly, we can take example of gopis. Gopis, they left their husbands, their family members, and they just want to stay with Krishna all the time. And it is mentioned in someone was saying in the lecture that every day, like gopis, they were praying to sun to rise 1 hour late so that they can spend 1 hour extra with Krishna. And on the same with the gopas, they were praying to moon to come 1 hour late so that they can spend 1 hour extra with Krishna. So actually this is called pure love, or we can say true love. So then what happened? Then Brahmana's wife, they saw Krishna into the garden. And it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that Lord appeared like a dramatic dancer to them. So dramatic dancer to them. And having their mind always observed him, those ladies forced him to enter into their hearts through their eyes, and they want to embrace him for a long time. So now we can see the difference between Brahmanas and those who were expert in Vedic learning and all rituals, and Brahmana's wife who only knew to serve their husband and always hearing Krishna Katha, qualities of Krishna, glories of Krishna, pastimes of Krishna. So, but when Krishna sent his cowherd boys to them, Brahmanas, they didn't even say yes or no to cowherd boys. And on the other side, Brahmana's wife, they didn't ask any questions, but they took all the best for Krishna. So, similarly, we should do the things which are best for Krishna, as it is mentioned, Anukulena Krishna. So whatever is favorable for Krishna, we should do that things. And in the next verse, Sukdev Goswami, he mentions that we will recite that verse. He says that Nishedhemana pratibhi bhrata bhir bandhu sute bhagvati uttama shloke Drigashuta Dhritashraya. So this is very important verse actually. I was thinking to share the screen, but we can't do share on Facebook. So in this verse there are 3 important words actually. One is Dirgha and Shruta and Dhritarashya. So the meaning, I will read the translation, that although their husbands, brothers, son, and other relatives tried to forbid them from going, their hope of seeing Krishna, cultivated by extensive hearing of his transcendental qualities, won out. Although the river Yamuna, within a garden decorated with the buds of Ashoka trees, they caught sight of him, strolling along in the company of the cowherd boys and his elder brother Balram. So it is mentioned in this verse that I said that there are three important words. One is Dirgha, Shuddha, and Dhritarshya. So Dirgha means prolonged, or we can say extensive. For a long time they were hearing about Krishna's glories. And Shuddha is hearing. They were hearing Krishna's glories from a long time. And Dhritarshya means their hopes and expectations to see Krishna won. Like, they had a hope, okay, one day we will have a darshan of Krishna. And now that was the day when Krishna came there. So one day, once, someone asked Prabhupada, how we can come into in Krishna consciousness. Then Prabhupada said, only you should have a desire, or only you should have a hope that, okay, I want to come into Krishna consciousness. Then Krishna will help, Krishna will take charge. We don't have to worry what will happen next. So here we can see the potency of hearing. Hearing about Lord's glories is very important actually. So and also it is mentioned that once, if someone is sincerely hears about Krishna and his glories, they become eligible recipients of the Lord's mercy, and they are blessed with the gift of personal darshan of the Lord. So look, it's very important. Like, if we hear about Krishna, then maybe we have a chance to have a darshan of Krishna. So hearing is very, very important here. And there are so many examples actually it is given in Bhagavatam relating hearing, like example of Rukmani Devi. Rukmani Devi, when she wrote a letter to Krishna, the first word she said, Shutva Gunana Bhuvana Sundarashinvitam Te. So she said, Shutva, like, I have only heard about your glories. Like, she was the daughter of a king, and when she was going to marry to Shishupal, she wrote a letter to Krishna. Okay, I have never seen you, but I have heard about your glories. So please come and take me, and I want to marry you. And another example we can take from Narad Muni's pastime. So when there is a conversation between Narad Muni and Vyasdev. When Narad Muni, when he was doing austerities, then it is said that Krishna, he appeared into his heart and he had his darshan. And the second time when he was praying and he wants to have Krishna's darshan, then Krishna disappears at that time. So then there is a nice verse in Bhagavatam 1.6.25. It says that etavadukto parinam tanmad bhutanabo lingamalingam aham chatasmi mahatam mahiyase shishavananam viddeyanukampita. So in that verse, and the translation is that the supreme personality of personality personified by sound and unseen by eyes. Abholingam, alingam. So, but most wonderful stopped speaking, feeling a sense of gratitude. I offered my obeisances unto him. So, Prabhupada also, he says in this verse, in the purport, that the personality of Godhead was not seen but only heard, does not make any difference. So if Krishna is present in front of us, or if we are chanting Krishna's name, or we are hearing Krishna's name, there is no difference between both. And also Prabhupada mentioned that the Krishna, he produced the four Vedas by his breathing, and he is seen and realized through the transcendental sound of his Vedas. Similarly, this Bhagavad Gita is the sound representation of the Lord, and there is no difference in their identity. So the conclusion is that the Lord can be seen and heard by chanting of the transcendental sound. So if we are chanting Krishna's name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, then Krishna is already present in front of us. And it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that when Brahmana's wives they saw Krishna in the garden, then Lord Krishna, like he is witness of the thoughts of everyone, all the creatures. He knows what is going on into our hearts. And Krishna, he welcomed them lovingly with smile. So he and there is a beautiful verse. He said he gave the he said that Nav adhamai kurvanti kushila swarthdashina Ehetuki avahitam bhaktim atma priye yatha. So in this verse, Krishna is saying that certainly expert personalities who can see their own true interest render unmotivated and uninterrupted devotion service directly unto me, for I am most dear to the soul. So Krishna is saying that actually he is telling the qualities of um, Brahmana's wife. And in this verse, actually, there is a very important word. It's that Kushla. Kushla means expert. So the word Kushla is meaning the expert people. So those who take devotion service nicely and those who do the devotion service towards Krishna, actually Krishna is saying they are not ordinary souls. And Lord mentions that indeed, they are very expert people. So devotees who know that Krishna alone can give the value to their life, or they are the Krishna is the only life and soul for them. So when we are, and in the second line they said the devotion service should be ahetuki and avahitam. Ahetuki means there should be no motive, and avahitam means it should be uninterrupted. So these two words are worth meditating actually. Like when we serve with motives, then our devotion service does not go for a long time. So when we serve without motives, then by the grace of Lord, the service will be uninterrupted as well. But when we start serving with motives, then we lose our interest. We don't want to continue after some time, or maybe sometimes it becomes a like a business transaction. Like okay, Krishna, you do this one for me, I will do this one for you. Like I remember when we were young, then in India we used to say, okay, we will go to temple and we will give you 5 coconuts or 2 coconuts, and you do this one for me, pass. If I will be passed, then I will do 5 rupees per shadam and all that. So like it's like a business transaction. So we were doing like that. Krishna is waiting for our coconuts. Okay, today she will come and give me coconuts. No, Krishna has everything. So but our devotion service should be ahetuki, and second word was avahitam. And in this, there is a similar words in Bhagavatam. Save pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshare ehetukiya pratihata yatmasu prasidati. So, the meaning of this verse is that the supreme occupation for for all humanity is that by which man can attain loving devotion service unto the transcendental Lord. And such devotion service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted. So we can see, like, our devotion service should be continuous. It's not like, okay, we will chant our rounds today and then we will have a break for 1 week. No, it should be every day, every day. and His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, he said that when we serve Krishna all the time without expecting anything in return as a matter of duty, then we will feel very blissful and we will become very dear to Krishna. So this is very important point. Like our devotion service should be uninterrupted and continuously without any motives. So after this, Krishna tells Brahmana's wife, okay, you go and return to your um, husband and help them in their sacrifice. So Brahmana's wife, they refuse to go back and then they pray to Krishna. Actually, it's a conversation. They pray to Krishna. So they say, Shri Patimya Uchu मैवं विभूति भवान् गदितुं न संशां सत्यं कुरेषु निगमं तव पादमूलं प्राप्ता वयं तुलसीदां पदावशिष्टम् केशे निगूढमतिलङ्घ्य समस्तबन्धून्. So in two verses actually they are saying, so I will recite the another verse as well. They say, गृह्णन्ति नो न पतया पितरो सुतावः नाभ्रातेर्बन्धुसुहृद् सुहृदया कुत एव चान्ये तस्माद् भवत्प्रपदयो पतितात्मनो नान्या भवेत् गतिरिन्दं तदा विदेहि. So in the translation it is said, the wives of Brahmanas replied, O Almighty One, please do not speak such cruel words. Rather, you should fulfill your promise that you always reciprocate with your devotees in kind. Now that we have attained your lotus feet, we simply wish to remain here in the forest so we may carry upon our heads the garlands of tulasi leaves that fall down from your lotus feet. We are ready to give up all the material relationships. And in the second verse, they say, our husband, fathers, sons, brothers, other relatives and friends will no longer take us back. And how could anyone else be willing to give us shelter? Therefore, since we have thrown ourselves at your lotus feet and have no other destination, please, O chastiser of enemies, grant our desire. So we can see that Brahmana's wife, they reminded Lord that they are his devotees and it is his duty to protect them. And they wish to stay in the forest with the Lord and wants to serve him lovingly and ready to give up all the material relationships. So here there is an important point that, Brahmana's wife, they were so much absorbed in Krishna that they said that they already gave up everything material relationships. So in our material world, like in our relationships, it's so vital that we are always ready to commit any offense for anyone, like for our spouse, children. But here we can see that Brahmana's wife, they were absolutely different. Their love for Krishna has reached at the stage of worship, like, or we can say they were on the pure. It was a pure love for Krishna. And Brahmana's wife, they said to Lord, okay, because we already left our family members, we don't have any shelter now, other than you. And Krishna assured them, no, that your husband and father would accept them. In the next verse, he's saying that I give you the assurance that your father or your husband, they will accept you. And then also Krishna mentioned that if you're going to stay with me in the forest, then it will not, it's not a good example actually, and it would not please people in the world. So we can see that how Brahmana's wife, they were fully surrendered towards Krishna, that they don't want to go back to their houses. Same example we can take from Kunti Maharani prayers. When she was praying to Krishna, when Krishna was leaving, then she prayed to Krishna, okay, don't leave us, stay with us. So there are different, we can see the different scenes. Here Krishna is telling his devotees to go, and there a devotee like Kunti Maharani, she is telling Krishna to stay. So because they both are pure devotees of the Lord. And then furthermore, Again, Krishna says in the next verse, like because they don't want to go back to their home, then Krishna tell them that how we can perform devotion service in separation. Like if Krishna is present, if Krishna is not present there, then how we can do our devotion service nicely. So this is very nice verse. It is mentioned here, 10, 23, 33. It said, श्रवणात् दर्शनात् ध्यानन् मयि भावो अनुकीर्तनात् न तथा सङ्कर्षेण प्रतीयात् ततो गृहान्. So in this verse, Krishna is telling how we can do devotion service. And the meaning is, it is by hearing about me, seeing my deity form, meditating upon me, and chanting my names and glories that love for me develops, not by physical proximity. Therefore, please go back to your homes. So Krishna is telling Brahmana's wife, okay, now you can go back and help your husbands in the sacrifice. And Lord, actually, Krishna is giving message to everyone, like how we should devotion service if Krishna is present, if Krishna is not present there. So, like, we don't, like, want, we want Krishna, but it's not like Krishna should be physically present there. It's not possible all the time. So devotees, like, and the devotees, they are not interested in the service of the Lord. Like, they don't worry that whether they are placed in heaven or hell or in Krishna Loka. They just want to serve Krishna actually. So if Krishna, we want to do devotion service towards Krishna, so we can go to temple. Like, if we want to see Krishna, we can go to temple and take his darshan. Actually, it is said that Krishna is waiting for the devotees to come to the temple, and but we always turn our face other side. We don't want to go, and but Krishna, he is every day waiting in the temple. Okay, someone come, and so that he can see his devotees. So we can have Krishna's association anytime. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has given us a Hari Nam Sankirtana Yagna. So we can have Krishna's association all the time. Like, and in Sri Sri Ashtakama it said that Nam Akhari Bahuda. So Krishna, you have so many names like Gopinath, Sham Sundar, Gokulanand, Murali, Murari, Manohar, Krishna, and there his name is full of energy, and there is no fixed time that we have to chant Krishna's names only on Mondays or only on Sundays. No, we can chant Krishna's name all the time, and we can have Krishna's association all the time. Like, we don't want Krishna physically present there. When we chant Krishna, Krishna is already present there. So once someone asked Narad Muni, one devotee, he asked Narad Muni that what time I should read Bhagavatam, or what time I should chant Krishna's name. Then Narad Muni said, Sada Sevya Shrimad Bhagavati Katha Yasse Shravana Matrena Hari Chitta Samashret. So Narad Muni said, Sada Sevya, all the time, all the time. What we should do? Shrimad Bhagavati Katha. We should read or chant Krishna's glories, or read Krishna's pastimes. Just say Shravan Matrena. Again, he used that word Shravan. Shravan means only by hearing. Matrena, only by hearing. Hari Chitta Samashret. Then Krishna will enter into our hearts. So it's easy. Like, we can chant Krishna's name all the time. It's hard in one way, but at least we can try to do it. So it is said that money, we can purify money. When we give charity to someone, then our money gets purified, and we can purify our intelligence, our mind, and intelligence. But how we can purify our mind and heart? By chant Krishna's name only. So we should chant Krishna's name all the time, or hear his pastimes or his glories, because it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that snake of death is swallowing us all the time. So when we were born, it started us to swallow. Like, and when we are in the age of 25, it is mentioned that we are already eaten up to knees, and when we are in the age of 40, we are swallowed by a snake up to our waist, and when we are in the age of 50, we get swallowed up to our shoulders. So we should be very careful and chant Krishna's name, as only Krishna can destroy the snake of death. And it is said that our devotion is tested not by parameter how much we do, and the main thing is which mood we do and what are our intentions to do the devotion service, because Krishna, he can smell and he can hear our intentions, as he knew that intentions of Brahmana's wife, and he blessed them. And Brahmans, they were performing their rituals but could not get one by one meeting with Krishna. So Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj said in one of his lectures that if you want to meet Krishna, then you have to go into Mangalarti. And only Krishna, he gives darshan in Mangalarti. So, and he takes appointments there. So we should attend Mangalarti as well. So after that, what happened? Brahmana's wife, they returned home as per the instructions of Lord Krishna, and their husband did not find any fault with them. So now Brahmanas, they were also lamented, and it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that they were actually condemned their own threefold birth, like their physical birth, their Brahminical initiation, and then initiation into performance of Vedic sacrifice, and vow of celibacy and extensive learning. So this is all mentioned in Bhagavatam, that they were feeling very bad that what they have done, it was a very big mistake. So they said that Brahmanas, they are supposed to be spiritual master for all classes of men, and instead of that, they engrossed in their own real interest. So they compared themselves with the wives and felt very sorrowful actually. So the offense of Brahmanas resembles our position in this material world as well. Like, in course of performing various sadhanas in devotion service, we forget the purpose of our devotion service. Like, we have to become a pure devotee of the Lord. To become a pure devotee of the Lord is not very easy task actually. We should have so many qualities, and the one quality is called compassionate. So we should be very compassionate to other living entities. So at the end, they realize their mistake and they compare themselves with their wives. So again, it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that all this happened because Brahmana's wife, they were the pure devotees of the Lord, and they had the association with the holy name and the association with the gopis of Vrindavan. So, and they were hearing the pastimes of Krishna all the time. So chanting Krishna's name, they were chanting Krishna's name all the time. And Krishna's katha, like, it's like a Ganga water actually. Wherever the Ganga water goes, it purifies the land, it purifies the person, and it purifies the place from where it is going. Similarly, when Krishna katha is, when we speak Krishna katha, the place is purified, and the hearer is purified, and the inquirer, they all become purified. There is a very small story. Once there was a lady, she was very aggressive and she died, and then she got next birth as a sparrow. So one day she was flying and she was fighting with her husband. Both were hitting each other, and then she fell into a bowl of water and died and got that Chaturbhuj form and then gone. So it is said that the ball where she fell was actually, it was a skull of a man, and that man, he was reading chapter 15 of Bhagavad Gita every day. So imagine that she got the association of a dead body, and then she got the position in Vaikuntha. So we can take association of devotees, nice, like pure devotees, and we can read Bhagavad Gita, we can take association of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, then surely we can go back to Godhead. So we will just conclude this. At the end, Brahmanas, they prayed to Krishna. They said, Tasmi namo bhagavate Krishnaya kuntha medase yanmaya mohita diyo bharmama karma vatmasu. So they said, let us offer our obeisances unto the Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His intelligence is never bewildered, whereas we, confused by his power of illusion, are simply wandering about on the paths of fruitive work. So at the end, they realized their mistake and then they paid obeisances to Krishna. And now they want to have Krishna's darshan, but they can't take Krishna's darshan because they were afraid from, it is mentioned that they were afraid from Kamsa. So they want to surrender actually towards his feet, but they were afraid from Kamsa and could not see Lord face to face. So we can see that there are few key points in these prayers. Like first, is we should be careful not to neglect Krishna. So while chanting, listening about Krishna, or if we are performing deity worship, and if we are dealing with the devotees, we should take care that we are not offending anyone, and we should chant our rounds nicely, because there is no difference between Krishna and Krishna's name. And the second lesson is that when one extensively and sincerely hears about Krishna and his glories, they become eligible recipients of the Lord's mercy, and they are blessed with the gift of personal darshan of the Lord. So if we are hearing Krishna's name sincerely, then we can become eligible to go back to Godhead, and then we can have Krishna's darshan. And the third thing is, our service should not be our service should be consistent and without motives. Like, we shouldn't have any motive. Okay, I will do this service for you, Krishna, then give me this one. There shouldn't be no motives, and it shouldn't be uninterrupted. Like, we shouldn't have, we do service today and then we have 5 days break, and no, it's not like that. We should do Krishna's service every day, anudinam, every day with love. And then next one is service in separation. Okay, Krishna is not present in front of us physically, but Krishna is in everything related to Krishna. Like, Krishna is in everything. So Krishna, he sees our efforts. He sees our intentions, in which intentions we are doing this service. Like example of Shabri Mata. Shabri Mata, she left her house, and she was just going to marry, and the parents, they just bought the kettles in their home, and they said, okay, we have to cut the kettles and make the food for the, like, she was just going to marry next day, and they were just preparing food for the baratis, like, the people, they were coming to marry her. So they preparing, and then Shabri Mata asked her parents that what's happening, what you're doing, and then they said, oh, we have to make nice meat prasadam for, meat, food for the other people, other family. So they said, she said, if only for my wedding, if you have to kill so many animals, I'm not going to marry. She didn't say, but she left the home, and then she went into an ashram, and then she was serving the sadhus there, and they said his Guru Maharaj, her Guru Maharaj told her, okay, one day Lord Rama will come, and um, then everything will be all right. So she waited the whole life for Ram to come, and at the end the Lord came and accepted her. So, like, we can see that her intention was only to serve God. Every day she was cleaning the home, that because she didn't know when Lord Rama will come, but the Guru Maharaj said, okay, one day he will come. So she was waiting every day. Every day she was picking flowers. Every day she was plucking the fruits and washing it and keeping there. Okay, today they will come. Today they will come. But whole life she was waiting for Lord Rama to come. So another example we can take of Surdas. Surdas, he was blind, but he was hearing Krishna Katha. He was doing his service nicely. So, like, he was only by hearing Krishna came and take him. So our heart has so many sufferings. We have so many problems in our life, but we have to replace it with happiness. And only Krishna can give us happiness. And so just please chant Krishna's name all the time and be happy. Thank you everyone for listening. And Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.